intimate and as comfortable as your living room. We give you a chance to get to know the musicians and to hear the music the way that it was meant to be heard. This is a listening room. We had our acoustics designed by a protege of the Hollywood director George Lucas, under his guidance, to be the highest quality, unenhanced sound available today. We've won 8 awards from Downbeat magazine for being one of the top 100 jazz clubs in the world. And we've been here 13 years and 1 month. We're teenagers now. We're sassy and rebellious. And we think we know more than we do. All right, so this is a special night for us. We haven't seen Thad Wilson for quite some time. Thad Wilson is a Maryland-based trumpeter who has a lot of family. A lot. If you are family of Thad Wilson, raise your hand. Yes. Yes. So it's so wonderful to have him back. He travels a lot. He was in Japan a couple of days ago, and yet he's perky enough to come and play the Velvet Rope. He has a killer band. Those of you who are from this area know how revered these guys are. Mr. Roy Hargrove on piano. Mr. Craig Shaw on accordion. And Mr. Little John Roberts on drums. And he has a special guest. There are going to be some twists and turns tonight. So you guys strap on in. Twists and turns. Are you ready to go? Okay. You gave me a pretty good opening applause, so I'm not going to critique you on that. I would just say that I need you to rinse and repeat. See if we can do it one more time now. We have great food and service and bar. Our special drink tonight is our watermelon mint martini. Guaranteed to cool you off, at least from where you are now. Put your hands together for Thad Wilson and the Thad Wilson Quartet!
Trevor, which mic did you use for MCing? You have it in your hand, don't you, the wireless?
Yes. Would you like for me to bring it to you, sire?
No, I don't, but now I know where I stand. You get the wireless and I get like... You could probably bring this mic down just a clip. Hey y'all, happy 4th weekend. How everybody doing? That was really subdued and sad. That did not sound engaging at all. So let's try that again. Happy 4th, everybody. Welcome to the 3rd annual Wilson Family Reunion. We'll be having baked beans and hot dogs and ribs and all that. Anyway, this is kind of like a second home for me when I come to Atlanta. I lived here many, many moons ago. For some of you who don't know me or care to know me, I'm going to introduce myself anyway. I lived here quite some time ago, and when I come back, this is kind of like my second home. Again, let's give a round of applause to Tamara and the staff here. I love you too, whoever that is. I can't see behind these lights here. Oh, that's Tamara, okay. Oh, Tamara, you need a car.
It's a crazy lady.
Yes, ma'am, right. But I am always, really, and I mean this sincerely, I'm always blessed to be in the company of some amazing musicians. I mean, world class. I don't know why they work with me, but I guess I pay well. I don't know. Or not. But I want to introduce you the guys performing for this evening and give you a little story behind each one. This bass player behind us is one of the baddest cats that I ran into. You know, when you meet somebody and, you know, I play a trumpet and I practice, you know, but then you meet somebody and you really understand this guy who really knows his instrument really well. He's studious, he's thoughtful, he's always hip, he's always swinging, and he's like a little brother to me. So when I first kind of got on the scene here in Atlanta, he was one of the cats that, you know, was teaching me stuff. He was younger than me, you know. So let's give a big round of applause to Craig Charlotte on the bass. Craig Charlotte on the bass. This next guy, I've known him way too long, so he's literally like my little brother. But I met him during the coffee house scene around Atlanta, over by, where's that over there? Warehouse District used to be called. I'm trying to think. Train station, yeah. There was a place called the Homage Coffee House, and I'm going way back. Some of y'all, I know none of y'all remember this, but I used to run into this 17, 18-year-old kid that already had it together, and I was literally well into my late 20s, probably early 30s at that time, and he was always mature. He just always had a voice. He understood the music, you know, at a very young age, and everybody knew that about him. He was kind of like, we were kind of living vicariously through his talent, because he's a very, very talented. He won piano competitions at the age of 5 and all of this stuff, and I was like, wow. You know, he sounds like it, you know, and so I couldn't help but pick with him as big brothers do. So anytime I'm with him, I always have to make sure he understands his place. That he still, you know. Mr. Louis Hargrove, everybody. Louis Hargrove. Yeah. Now, this other guy, you know, we've kind of snaked in and out of each other's lives in some very interesting places, you know, working with rappers and working with different talents and this, that, and the other. But he was already well on his way. I'm a trumpeter, and so my instrument is a little special in that I'm not going to get called as often to do work as he is. And so when we were both kind of cutting our teeth here in Atlanta, I'd be at some club making $50 a night, and he'd be out with Janet Jackson. Complaining that the tour bus is too, whatever. Or he on the train, or he on the flight. Oh, they put me in economy, man. I'm supposed to be in business class, and they wouldn't honor my upgrade. And I'm like, man, I'm making $50 like on this gig here. Anyway, but he's always been a hero. I love him to death, and he is super, super talented. You got on the list, Janet Jackson, George Duke, Michelle Farrell. I can keep going. And he's done it just about all. And so I just hold his talent and his professionalism in high esteem. Mr. John Roberts, everybody. Little John Roberts. So we're going to keep this music going. We also have another special treat for you. You probably never had this happen at the Velvet Note, but we have a young man who's going to tear y'all up a little later. We'll talk about that later, but we've got some comedy for you after we do our thing. So y'all take it easy on him now, because he's going to be, and I warn you, don't heckle him, because you're going to get really embarrassed if you try to do that. So I'm hoping he don't say a single joke about me, because I know I'm in the line of fire. The homie, everybody, let's give him a round of applause. We're going to bring him up a little later. Right now we're going to go to the library of Kenny Garrett. We're going to play a tune. This was written by Kenny Garrett, and it's kind of a 4th of July kind of song, because it's really highly energetic, and it speaks to like what you do, you know, on 4th of July when you're cooking out this activity, this, that, and the other. This was called Backyard Groove. Backyard Groove. Once again, Mr. Louis Herbold, everybody on the field. Craig Shaw on the bass. Craig Shaw, my man. Bill John Roberts on the drums. I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I'm giving you my heart. I love you, and you alone were meant for me. Please give your loving heart to me, and say we'll never part. Darling, I'm never lonely. Whenever you are inside, I love you. For sentimental reasons, I hope you do believe me. I'm giving you my heart. No, sir, For sentimental reasons. Anybody got a significant other out there? Raise your hand if there's somebody out there in this room that you care about. It should be the whole damn room. Y'all some selfish. This ain't the comedy hour. I'm sorry. I gotta wait. This tune is literally about that. It's literally somebody that you care about just because they're yours. And then if you wake up with them, even when you're mad at them, I don't forget it, you know. But they're yours. And this song is like a perfect depiction of that. And I'm gonna go back over the lyrics again. Let's go to the bridge. I think of you every morning. Bad eggs, food tastes bad, and all that. I dream of you every night. Darling, I'm never lonely. Cause you like to watch the TV when I'm trying to watch at the same time. Whenever you are inside, I love you. For sentimental reasons, I hope you do believe me. I'm giving you give me that 5 chord. My heart. Are you guys having a good time? Yeah. You know, the holidays always kind of bring, you know, you feel like you're feeling a different kind of spirit, and I'm full because I've been with my family and we've been doing things. It's a bit melancholy. I won't go deep into the whole story, but it's a bit melancholy. But by the same token, is it not always nice to be around the people you love? It's damn, y'all, come on now, y'all should be screaming. Maybe y'all don't like it anyway. But we're gonna now play something for you. This is by request from the band. I'm always in the presence and the company of amazing musicians. I'm always in the presence of musicians, and probably because of the nature of my instrument, these are critical. This instrument is critical to a group. This instrument is critical to a group. That one may not so much, but no, the drums are critical. Especially you talk about black music. If you ain't got no drums, forget it. You ain't gonna, don't even try to play it, right? Right. But I'm always, you know, in the company of some amazing musicians, world class. Don't they sound great? Don't they sound great? And normally they're playing my music. They're playing the music that I chose, you know, reluctantly sometimes, but nonetheless they're playing it. And I always like to take a moment in my set to get out of the way and let them say what they like to say. So we're going to feature our trio, Mr. Roy Hargrove, on a tune of his choice. it, y'all? How about it, y'all? Louis Turbo on the keyboard. Craig Shaw on the bass, everybody. Craig Shaw on the bass. That groove make y'all niggas really. Somebody real special. I want to say a couple things before we pick them up because there are a lot of special people in this room that I would love to acknowledge, and I think I'm going to get to everybody. I've got friends in this room that I haven't seen for 40 years. The infamous Landrums, where are y'all back there? The Landrums are back. So she's a twin, and her older sister, Tyler, we ran track together, but our claim to fame as friends was we lived in Montgomery, Alabama. The Gump, yes sir. And Eastdale Mall had just opened. And we had to take the bus from our house because they had an ice skate rink. It was the first one of its kind because the other mall sucked. I forgot the name of that other mall. Montgomery was the Montgomery one. Because they didn't have nothing. I mean, with J.C. Penney's. But Eastdale Mall had like other stuff. With no Bell Hudson in there, with none of that. With no Montgomery Ward. It was like some nice, you know, you get into like the Macy's vibe or whatever. But we literally hopped on that bus and made our way to this little spot, and we had so much fun. And I think by the time we got back on the bus, I didn't have bus fare to get back on the bus. I just spent it all. But that's beside the point. Thank you guys for coming out to these other round of applause, please. I would humbly and respectfully resubmit that you guys give us a better applause than that. Can we try that again? Thank you. We're going to bring up somebody now that's going to tickle your funny bone. His greatest strength is when he's himself, he's going to kill you. So, everybody, welcome to the bandstand, or to the stage. My main man, the homie.
Because I can't sing or play an instrument or anything like that. I appreciate y'all coming up. That is my cousin. Y'all give him a round of applause. All this time, I've been knowing this guy forever. And he's like, man, you gotta come out and see me perform. And I always thought he didn't do nothing for real. I thought maybe he just out here just pretending to be a little trumpet player. But as I seen today, that he's more than a trumpet player. He is a trumpet player. He is a singer. He is a pimp because the way he worked that drummer and his bass player. He owed him some money. He kept, walking off and everything. They were just sweating, trying their best to make y'all happy. Let's give the rest of the band a round of applause one more time. Yeah. I just found out what I want to do in life. I need me a drummer and a bass player. I'd be all right in life if I could get me one of them. I be forgetting my jokes sometimes. I write them down. Y'all just bear with me. Anybody here got kids? I know most of them probably grown now. I'm looking at my crowd. I'm gonna hurry up because I know some of y'all need a nap. I'm gonna just say, my son personally, he's only 6 years old, right? But he's working on himself, and what I mean by that is he's found out what this do if you touch it. You know, if you rub it, it'll turn into something. He's found that out. So the other day I caught him, and I caught him before, but I act like I ain't seen him, and I kept it moving. But this time I bust in the door and was like, "What you doing?" And believe it or not, he didn't even get scared. He just was like, "Dad, can you close the door?" I'm like, "Excuse me?" He like, "Excuse me, can you close the door?" I'm like, okay, see, that's what happens when you don't whoop black kids. They're not scared of you. See, that's why you gotta whoop black children, and they don't have no fear of you. But he told me today, because he's so scared of like being overweight, he always tells me that I'm so fat and like that. I don't want to be fat. So he's always doing push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that. And he said, "Dad, I can work out on everything. I can do push-ups, and I can do sit-ups, I can do jumping jacks." But he said, "You know the one muscle that I can't work out like that?" And I said, "What is it, son?" And he said, "My private muscle." I said, "Well, son, that'll work itself out. You don't have to do nothing to that, man. That one gonna work itself out." So if you ever see your son playing with himself, he's just working out. There you go. He's just working out. What else? Ladies in here. Okay, most of y'all got husbands and boyfriends and people who may think they're your boyfriend, but somebody like y'all. So what I'm gonna say is it's hug etiquette that y'all have to abide to now. Like if he a friend, you got to hug him with at least 8 inches between your pelvis and him. Like if your butt not coming out here when you hug, y'all like each other, okay? If you all up in here with it like this, that is your man, okay? You can't say that's just my friend after giving an intimate hug like that, okay? You have to acknowledge that y'all got something else going on. Also, ladies, and I'm gonna get off of y'all after this, but I feel like I need to tell y'all this. There's a lot of men out here who are victims. And by that, I'm just saying, like, you know, men get abused all the time by women. Don't nobody seem to care, you know what I mean? Because we men and we can take it, but we really can't, you know, we hurt. And it's a lot of women out here raping men. Wait, let me finish. Not raping in the sense of that, like how a man rape a woman, you know, which they both wrong, but raping his time. Like women out here raping men time, like his time just don't matter. And that's all we got. All we got is our time to ourselves and the little time we get to watch the game, and women just don't care. Like, this what I mean, here go example. If you know your man don't like to go shopping with you, quit asking him to come shop with you. That's raping his time. If your man say, "Hey baby, we've been on the phone about an hour now and I love the conversation, but I need to go," and then, "Where you going? What you gotta go for?" Now you are making me sit on the phone with you, so therefore you are taking something from me, which is my time. and that is called time raping. And a lot of women is out here raping time. And that is not fair to men, because we don't have nothing else. We can't seduce you no other kind of way or nothing like how y'all can do us. So just let us get our time. We just need a little time to just think about, oh, okay, yeah, see? We just need a little time to think about how much we really like you, and we still do or not. Reputation is something else that I need to talk about. It's bad when your reputation messed up. I got an uncle named Marcus who is, he got a bad reputation. Like, don't nobody think of him highly, I should say. But when you get a bad reputation, you know, travel with your carriers. So lately we've been having some bad weather and stuff. So I call my Aunt Petunia and I say, Aunt Petunia, how you doing? You know, it's a bad storm coming down there, a hurricane, they say. And she say, what is it called? I said, they call him Marcus, which is my uncle's name. And she said, anything named Marcus ain't gonna be worth a damn. I ain't got to be worried about that, you know, doing nothing to me. So I called her the next morning and asked her, was everything okay? And she said, I told you Marcus wasn't gonna do nothing. It barely rained last night. So Marcus turned into barely raining. Even the hurricane ain't worth a damn. So that's just what it is there on that. Okay, I see a lot of y'all eating this saucy stuff, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting older myself, and acid reflux is a real thing. And you got to be careful. Like, you know, when you get older, you can't just eat what you want to eat no more, because you have to make real decisions on that. Like, sometimes you want that piece of pizza, but you know, middle of the night, you might wake up like Fred Sanford. You know, you sitting there like, oh Lord, I think this a big one right here. I'm probably finna go to the upper room over a slice of pizza or two. That can be very terrible, very terrible. And I don't know about y'all, but I partake in the extracurricular activity. I'm a fan of marijuana. Once they make it legal, I would be a law-abiding citizen. That seems to be the only law I break. Like, if you look at my record, a lot of arrests for marijuana possession. So I'm hoping Donald Trump can help me get that expunged. You know, it's coming. You know. So, but sometimes I be high and my mind just wander a little bit, you know. And I be thinking about stuff, and you know, it's kind of random and a bit inappropriate, but I feel comfortable with y'all, so I'm gonna share it. You know, and it just be in my head, but I'm gonna say it out loud. You know. Like sometimes I be high, or I be a little, you know, tipsy, and I see a midget or something, right? A little person. Forgive me, I can't see if any of y'all in here, but I see a little person, and sometimes I wonder, like, did they come from little dicks? Like, did a little dick make a little man? Or am I wrong for thinking like that? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And just a thought. These are just thoughts. You know, like do lesbians send pictures of their dicks to other women? You know, the toys. You know, I just bought the Hope. You know, they got the big green one. They got all the rings and stuff. Do they send that to their other women, like, to seduce them? Like, I'm gonna tear you up tonight. I'm gonna avenge. I'm gonna be avenger tonight. Hope you. You know? Okay. Like, why is hot dogs made from beef, chicken, and pork? Not dogs. No? Okay. Just me? All right. Who made the rainbow the symbolism of gayness? That's a question. I would want to know this, because when I was a kid, I was taught it was a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and now it's some dude standing there going, I hated it. So now I'm like, okay, that ain't what I wanted at the end of my rainbow. I wanted a pot of gold. Have y'all ever met a woman on child support? Anybody? Woman on child support? Okay, well, let me tell you what happens when you meet a woman on child support. When you meet a woman on child support, she talk just like men do. You be surprised. She be like, I should have never slept with that sorry MF. I just sent him $600 this month. He don't never do nothing. He don't want to get no job or nothing with his life. He just poor and pathetic. And you be thinking, why did you sleep with him? You know, if he just like that. But that's for women to answer their question. I don't know. Any of y'all got religious parents? Embarrass you in church? Your mama ain't never went down to the altar and prayed for you? In front of everybody and just embarrassed you? That ain't never happened to nobody else. Your mama come down to the altar and get the microphone and just, dear Heavenly Father, I caught my son the other day playing with himself in there. Lord, just take the feeling away from him, Lord. Just make him stop, because he don't understand what he's doing to himself, God. Just keep him from being happy, Lord. Just whatever it takes to make him stop playing with himself, God. I'm all for it, you know what I mean? And that's what be going on in life. And I found out about Juneteenth a couple years ago, since the 4th just happened. And I'm here to tell white people that black people still celebrating the 4th of July. They just gave us Juneteenth. We don't know what to do with it. We sitting around like, we going to barbecue and buy fireworks today, or should we wait till the 4th? We ain't never celebrated this before. What is this? They said that when black people got their freedom, but we didn't know that. So we thought, I thought Juneteenth was something for teenagers or something. I thought that's what you do when you graduate, you go to Juneteenth. So apparently I've taken too long and I'm getting escorted off now. But I want to thank y'all for hearing me out. I appreciate y'all for letting me do my thing.
Dear Heavenly Father, make him stop. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We loved having you, and we would love to have you again. You can find all of our upcoming shows at thevelvetnote.com. Thevelvetnote.com. It's a great summer, and it's a better summer when you're here. So please, please tell somebody, spread the word, get some tickets, and come back and see us. On behalf of Red on sound, David at the door, Dee Dee behind the bar tonight, Julia, yeah, that's right, that's Julia and Landry on the floor, our sous chef, Candy, and Chef Marcus Fitzpatrick. This is what we love to do, which is to bring you closer to artists who inspire you, closer to each other, and closer to the song that's in your heart. Come and see us again. Good night.